Hey everybody, Ben here. Thanks for being here. Thanks for showing up for yourself each and every day. We're going to get into an emotion here you may be struggling with, looking for a way to understand it and navigate our way through it. So, we have competitive and aggressive. This kind of gives me like Five of Swords energy. Competitive. So, I think there's a place for that, but at times, what's leading it? I often say with our emotions, our decisions, uh, why are we behaving that way? Why do we do that way? And it's normally up against a fear, a worry, a wound, an insecurity, trauma, complex, whatever you want to call it. Uh, these two go hand in hand, aggressively competitive. We need to be on the top. We need to be viewed in a certain light. And then the question comes, is why. You know why? What does that do for you? What does that make you feel like? But what if everything we're chasing is never going to be enough? It's never going to give you that feeling. Even if we did, we're up on that podium, we're number one, and we're all celebrated, or everyone's celebrating you, I should say, and it's this, great uplifting experience. It's not going to fill that void within you. It's not going to be enough. It is not going to satisfy you because you're unsatisfied with yourself. uh, Oftentimes, when we go to the external to fill a void within us, it'll never be filled because we don't hold it. We don't have that belief. We need the external to do that for us. So there's probably a wound connected there, an insecurity. And the aggression is this little monster within us, if we will. Not like it's a bad thing. It's just, I'm calling it that because it's hungry. It's like the cookie monster. It needs its cookies. And or we can look at it like a little parasite inside of us, and it starts to hurt our body, our organs, and it's angry, it's hungry, it's craving sugar, and it needs it. So we start to act out in certain ways uh, that maybe we regret, or maybe it paints us in a light that we didn't want to be seen in. And by doing so, uh, we're trying to feed the wound. We're trying to pacify it. And we continuously reach and grab or behave in certain ways to do this. And it appears that we need something in the external to be viewed in a certain way, to be the best, whether in sports, I normally think of, or uh, friend groups, be the funniest, be the coolest at work, be the hardest worker, have the best numbers. We need some sort of proof there in the external to make us feel good about ourselves, to make us feel worthy to be here, to be shined in a certain way. The opposite of competitive is conscious. How could that be? And yeah, we'll just stick on that. To be aware of something, to understand something. What is the driving force of this? That is recognizing the insecurity or the wound, wherever it may have came from. And we may not know where it began, more or less in childhood or through, uh, that we can look at a child that would uh, act out in certain ways, and we can look at that as bad behavior at times. A child would act bad for attention. How else do we get attention? Well, I'll do something that pisses somebody off or break something. Just even that anger outburst from the parent is enough to look at me. Maybe then in school, if that didn't even work. So the feeding force of why I'm doing something, the opposite of aggressive, is easygoing. Uh, when we look at when we start to look at why we're doing things and connect it to a wound, we can then control it, and not in a negative sense, but stop needing the need to do that. We make a lot of decisions based upon the wound, whether it's a codependency. You can get in abusive relationships just because someone's there and will stay through that. Uh, we could have money issues, and we'll continuously work and save even though we are in a place of comfort, out of fear that it's never enough and when's it going to go away. We will constantly be in competition with people that don't even know they're in a competition because they're looking a certain way. And remember this projection. Uh, we can often project how we feel, our insecurities, our fears, our worries onto others. And it's actually how we feel about ourselves. So let's just look at the thief. Uh, he will or she will think everybody's going to steal from them because they steal from them. You know, the same thing with a very trustworthy individual is going to project trust onto everyone, even though they have alternative motives. So that's a negative aspect and a positive aspect. Projection works either way. It's whatever we believe and we're holding inside, whether a good aspect or deemed a wound or an insecurity, we'll project that onto others and think that they're thinking that of us. So if I don't feel very confident about myself and I need to like prove myself out there, that's why I'm chasing it. I need to prove myself out there so that they see it, so it comes back to fill this void in me or to feed that wound, because I don't believe I'm good enough. I don't believe that I'm at decent standing. Like just looking at sports, like say someone scores more baskets as than we do, so we have to behave in a certain way uh, to get more attention. You know, maybe we don't have an opportunity to shoot more baskets, but we do other things to get the camera on us. You know, who knows? But there's this need for the attention, and it probably wasn't there in a childhood experience, I would imagine. But where do we, how can we build that? How can we build that inside? Easygoing is not, I don't want to say not trying, like not showing up, not existing, not being here, but it's removing that need to have the external to prove to us that we are worthy to be here, that we bring value. And this really gets into uh, getting to a place where we want to be free of this need. A Seven of Wands reversed. Lost confidence. Kind of gave the tone of like, let's go with our behavior and look at uh, continuously trying to show up in a certain way or light or experience in the external. And this normally would give me some sort of validation inside. It would prove to me that I am important or I am special by taking action and doing certain things in the external. And it's not happening anymore. This is the turning point. This is a great spot. This is the realization that, okay, wow, this isn't working anymore, which means, and I mean, maybe we're trying to change things, you know, really changing our behavior out there to still get it, but you're going to hit this spot that absolutely nothing works, which is this transformational period. This is uh, this realization of, okay, I'm beginning to see and understand, and now we can process, we can heal this. It's probably uncomfortable. Normally it is. Strength reversed, insecurities, 100%. These are probably very uncomfortable. Maybe we knew them before a little bit, but we were able to keep them at bay. We were able to pacify it. We were able to have the external respond to certain ways that we showed up, masks that we wore, or behaviors, and it worked. It worked for a bit, but now the time is over, and I'm sure it's very uncomfortable. You probably don't like this at all, but this is it's easy to say it on this side of the camera, but this is a great place to be. There's a great opportunity here in the future once we get through this, and you're going to be free of this because it would have always been there. and it's probably really loud right now and really uncomfortable, and you probably just want to go back the old way, and it's not working. It's not working anymore. So the only way is forward, which is through it. We've got two cards here. A Three of Swords reversed. Healed wounds. That's the way through it. I'm going to heal it. Obviously, the heartbreak doesn't have to be like romantic. It could be. But there was a heartbreak there somewhere. Something happened, and we built these masks or these behaviors around it to fill that void for whatever attention or acceptance or worth that we weren't receiving when we needed it. And we built a way to get through it. That's normal. We adapted to the situation to get through it. But now we're at a place that it's not working anymore because it's time to heal it, to move forward. We got the High Priestess reversed, disconnected. We would have been in a place that we were disconnected through this experience. I can't talk for every living person in the world, but I would imagine that some people go their whole life in the wound, completely blind to it, closed off, in a place of comfort. They don't want to see it, so they don't. They build a wall and they live their whole life that way. Others, they have that wall built naturally through that wound, and then we come to this period that we're at now to awaken to the realization and the reality of what we've been living has been false. It has been fake. It has not been true. Sure, what took place was, and we have memories of it, but what we're coming into is our true self, which is going to be freedom. The Eight of Cups, spiritual growth. This doesn't have to be termed any specific way, whether it is connected to religion, to higher beings or powers. It can just be yourself and understanding yourself, navigating life in a different viewpoint, a different perspective, a higher view, a higher understanding. Obviously, if you're watching this video, you have to be on some sort of spiritual understanding or getting into it. But we're seeing things differently. And moving forward, our life is going to be very different, but in a very positive, fulfilling way. I think we'll get one last card here. We have the Page of Swords reversed, which is better judgment. And this is making choices through this. I don't know if I said it in this video, but the best advice is when we know a wound or an insecurity and we're making decisions in life, we ask ourselves, am I making this for the wound, for the insecurity? And that's going to be unnerving. That's going to be uncomfortable because we found safety in pacifying that. But going back to that first card, uh, nothing's probably working up against it anymore. And we're probably getting very frustrated and anxious because it's really there. It's pressing up against us. And that's the opportunity to view it, to heal it, and to move forward by releasing this. I'm going to leave this here. If this resonated, feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will talk to you all later. See you.